Hey everybody, it's me, Mechanic MC. Thank you, my lovely wife of a camerawoman. First thing we're gonna do, this is a lot of pasta we're making. We're cooking for an army, so we'll get that boiling. Over here I have a garlic butter that we're gonna whip up real quick because we are going to go through the sourdough that we bake at home. If you guys want a video on that, let me know in the comments below. And then we have waste, and we have just our veggie mixture. We got onions, we got peppers, we got chicken, we got penne, we have to-go boxes because we do feed other people in this household. Then we got a whole bunch of cheese. We're gonna make a homemade Alfredo sauce with that. And then we have heavy whipping cream that, weirdly enough, when it's frozen, looks like breast milk. But not a big deal. Only taking my ring off because I don't like having it on when I cook. So, alright, yeah, step one. I'm gonna grab another bowl. Do you have your phone on you? Can you Google non-copyrighted lo-fi? Can I get some background noise up in here? So we have, if the camera's messed up, she's working on something for me. So we have one cutting board for our raw chicken and one cutting board for our veggies. If anybody wants to donate, I do need a new cutting board because this one decided to break. So that will happen. We're going to take all this chicken that we got from our local grocer, not Walmart. Hashtag fuck corporate. Fuck corporate. That's not true. Corporations make the world go round. I'm gonna put that away. And with these, you can kind of just see this fat, sinewy, I don't know what you want to call it really, off the top of your head. We're just gonna trim that off on all 5 of these chicken breasts. A little fat isn't bad. And we're going to end up just kind of dicing this into bite-sized chunks anyway, pretty quick here. So we're just going to take what we can off, waste as little as possible. That can be waste too. Hope everybody's having a beautiful, wonderful day. Just started getting cold up north here. First snow of the winter. Are we in winter yet? Are we in winter yet?
I don't quite remember. But it snowed today.
It snowed too. It was kind of cool though.
There's one person that says looks good so far.
All I've done is take the fat off the chicken. What's Gucci Gangster? Do they have a username or?
Fluffy with exclamation points.
Fluffy?
Yeah. With exclamation points.
Might be from Danny. It might be the boss lady from Fluffy Fields. You know, you never know. So, just so I don't have to clean things twice, we're going to make these into nice bite-sized chunks. Start by cutting the long way into kind of like a chicken finger sized situation. Who would be Fluffy that I know? Could be Dad. She's feeling under the weather today. So.
The picture has someone riding a lawnmower. Like the zero-turn lawnmowers, that's red.
I don't know. I'll take a look at it later. But, glad everything's looking good so far. We do have some grocery vegetables, and then I have one garden fresh pepper and garden fresh onions here. God bless my job for supplying those, and my in-laws. It's nice having supportive in-laws. everybody's been telling me I've been happier since I got back into cooking. So, and I do love cooking. So, we got that going for us. I am going to keep, I mean, I could trim all the fat off. Like you can see this fat right here. I don't know if we can get a good view of it. I'm not going to waste my time taking that off. Little fat never hurt anyone, if we're going to be honest. A little fat. Take care of yourselves. Work out. Take all these little loins that we just made, get them good and bite-sized. It gets so dark so early nowadays, it really kind of throws off my... Oh, that one rhythm I can't think of.
Sleep schedule?
No, it's called like a circadian rhythm or some crap like that. I don't remember.
Circadian?
Circadian rhythm, there we go. But... just make sure everything's a good bite size. Something you'd want in a pasta. You know, you want to make room in your mouth for, you know, noodles and all that. So, just make life easy. To only contaminate a little bit at a time before I move on to the veggies. I do have that water boiling already. I know somebody wanted to see some Indian style food, and I haven't figured that quite out yet. I've been kind of gaming through the recipes I've been finding on the internet for some chicken garam masala or some good old curry. But we're just going to dice all this up right now. We're going to hit it with some olive oil so the seasoning has something to grab onto. And then we're going to fry it off. But get all the cutting out of the way so we don't really have to worry about any health stuff. Raw chicken. Always kind of dangerous. And all these veggies are going to be cooked off too, so it's not like if you see me nudging them, then, you know, there's going to be plenty of heat to kill anything. For those of you who don't know at home, and are just like tuning in and using me as your cooking instructor, chicken needs to be cooked to 165 degrees. That gets rid of the salmonella in it. Fun fact, you can find salmonella also on the bellies of some turtles. So, if you have turtles at home, your pet store should have told you to wash your hands after handling them. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. And I don't think anybody really likes having a bad time. I don't think I've ever had a bad time that I've liked, in any case. Normally, I have hot, sudsy water ready for me to put everything into. But I needed one side of my sink, and we got a little bit lazy with dishes over the week. It's the weather, we had a funeral. You know, just kind of a rough week for everyone, so. I am thankful for one thing specifically, though. So I'm gonna grab this and this. I'm not sponsored by Crisco, but if they see this and want to sponsor me, hey. So we're gonna add the olive oil to it, get that stirred around, just so the chicken has something to grip everything. Check the water real fast, we're doing good. I also add a couple dashes of this, which is red wine balsamic vinegar. Oh, I screwed up my apron. Just a good splash. It's just something to kind of combat the spices. My wife, Mrs. Panic, not a tremendous fan of spicy. So I try to keep the flavor of the heat without the heat itself. I know that looks like a lot that I'm putting on. It's not. This is 5 genetically mutated chicken breasts. Probably genetically mutated, I don't know. Was it farm fresh? I doubt it.
I don't know.
Oh, this is my least favorite part.
Sounds
Just sounds raunchy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into our pan here. Normally this would be preheated. But today it's not. And we are going to turn it on into a medium. We are also doing some garlic bread with that sourdough, so we're going to set that to preheat at 350. Don't want any of the salmonella Fitzgerald to rub off into where I have my strainer for the noodles. I have a couple tricks and stuff like that for boiling noodles, which I will get into shortly. But always make sure you wash your hands. Like I said, I don't have hot sudsy water right now, so this cutting board and that knife are contaminated. And you can just wash it off with hot water typically, make sure it's clear. But, shout out to my homie Carlin. Another knife, another cutting board. So I'm just gonna take the tops off. If you do these right, and I did not do this one, oh, maybe I did do this one right. Boom, right out. Perfectly good. Everything's expensive, so you don't want to, where you can avoid waste, I would recommend it. Just gonna chop that out. Always do one task entirely before moving on to the other. I did not do this one correctly, I can already tell you that. That's a bummer. It's always nice to have a waste bowl near you. Super easy. Just throw everything in there, and when you're done, it all goes in the garbage. Boom! Got another one. I'm so proud of myself. We're gonna take the rind off these shortly, carefully. To get this to happen, you kind of want to cut through that stem. It should just pop off. And that'll be good. All my cutting board and whatnot is clean, so you don't have to worry about that. Yep. If it cracks like that, you don't want it. It's going to be too stemmy. I think we had a pregnant pepper here. Yep. Sorry, little guy.
2 of them?
Well, no, that was just him being cut in half. I think he was up here. It happens. I do like using tricolor bell peppers. Gives a good color to the dish when you decide to display it. That was concerned.
Woody Wood says hail.
Hey, Woody! How's it going, man? I hope you're doing well. So with the base of peppers, right? So we got all this. You'll notice this one, well, this one specifically, right? It's got that rot there. You could just slice that off, but peppers are literally designed for this.
It's too close.
That was too close? It's okay, I got another one. You can literally just follow the lines. It's like tracing an art project. You know what? I'm thinking ahead real quick. My water's boiling, so we'll turn that down to a low simmer. Because if I don't, then my noodles are going to be fudged. We don't like fudged noodles. Fudged noodles might be an interesting thing. Kind of a cannoli situation, maybe. Anyway. I want you guys to pay attention to that sound. And it goes like this. Firstly, that means you have a fresh pepper. But this side of the pepper is very hard. This side of the pepper is not, so you can still hear like it's cutting like a, kind of like cutting through grass if you were to snip through it. So. Again, just for audio purposes. Yeah, stuff like that you got to be careful about. So when you flip it over, you'll still hear that crunch of a nice fresh pepper, but it's not going to be as hard as on your blade or on your cutting board. The oven preheated yet, my love?
No.
I'm not using a proper cutting technique right now. I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt about it in my head. But we can get back to the claw. Just make sure to keep your body away from the business end of a blade. And I think we're just going to go for it anyway. Alright, so oven safe bread pan. Boom. Turn the heat off. That would be smart and safe. Okay, well, that's... I have my tools over here. Always wash your countertops after you do everything. And now, that is warm. We're just gonna let that bake while we do everything else. So we're gonna saute the veggies in that same pan just to save time on dishes. That trick I just showed you guys I'm not using because I forgot to do it on that one. You don't remember to do everything all the time. So you can knock these out all individually following the lines like I showed you earlier. It's not that big of a deal. I think I'm only going to use 2 of those onions. How's chat looking? Nothing new?
Pepe, wood pyre, what are you making tonight?
We are making a Cajun pasta. Homemade Alfredo sauce is what we're doing. That'll come later because Alfredo sauce, when it's going to be served this fast, and we're not really hot holding it, takes no time at all. It's literally cream and cheese and seasoning. But gotta get the peppers in there. I do have 1 spicy pepper just to add a kick. We are also doing sourdough garlic bread. Put back in, cut these bases. A lot of these peppers you can get lucky and it's just 4 cuts. I feel like I know a pepe.
They say fresh nudes.
Fresh nudes, not house-made nudes. We have house-made sourdough though.
Sourdough. Bread.
My wife baked that. I made some sourdough today. It did not turn out the way I wanted it to because I experimented with a new technique.
They're asking, how do you plan to do the Alfredo?
How do I plan to do the Alfredo? I have a pan over there. I'm going to heat said pan. Then I'm going to add cream until it is a bubbly simmer. Add cheese and seasoning to it. And then I will put my cooked noodles in.
You also say big good breads.
We do bake good breads. We have a... What have we messed with here at the house? We've done a jalapeno cheddar one, which was pretty good.
Spicy honey.
We did a spicy honey one, which didn't really turn out. In fact, in my opinion, it got a little too burnt. But that was the, all the sugars and whatnot in the honey. And screwed that up. Okay, so the tops and the bottoms that we just sliced up, and they'll break up more when I'm mixing them and, you know, cutting them. They have a lot of rind on them. So we're gonna cut that down the middle. Waste not, want not. Very carefully get started on just taking the rind off. If you're, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you can see my knife through this right now, right here. You can see where the edge is. And you are just going to let the knife do the work. Try shape. Boom. That's gonna get sliced up, nice julienne. Yes.
That was not your garbage one. That was not your waste one.
That was not my waste one. Good news is it's all pepper, so not like anything got hurt there.
They're wondering if you ferment your breads.
If I ferment my breads, yes, I do a 12-hour fermentation overnight in the fridge, and after they come out is when we add the fun stuff. You add the fun stuff to them right before you start baking them, because so there's like a kneading and shaping process that you do. You roll it into like an actual ball and you want to cross it. So when you're making it into an actual ball and folding the ends of a ball in on itself, I know it doesn't make sense, don't think about it. That's when you're going to add all of your fun seasonings and whatnot. Oh, I got it. Okay. Just a little worried about that. Damn it! You know what?
Do you need to switch them?
Yep.
The good bowl. Say dope knife board pro.
Thank you. I've been doing it for quite a long time. The trick is to cut yourself a whole fucking lot. I've sliced off part of my fingers more times than I can count. Did not have a table saw accident like my father did, though. He looks like this. But the reason I take the rind off is after it's cooked, it has a tendency to be just a little bit chewy, which is not my favorite Star Wars character to begin with. Don't mind him. I kind of screwed all that one up. Oh well. Got a little bit of green in there. This is usually where the problems happen, when you try to flatten it out and it cracks. And you kind of have to just turn it into two and go in twice.
Say props for a good knife.
Say again?
Props for a good knife.
Oh yeah. Always keep your knives sharp. It's the dull knives that are dangerous. And Mercer's a good company. We're gonna come back and julienne all of these once I'm done taking the rind off these. I'm gonna cut this in half before I use it. That's a garden fresh pepper. And it's been in the fridge for a minute. A lot of the stuff I'm working with has just kind of been in our fridge for a minute. If anybody wants to donate or anything like that, exclamation point tips.
They're asking what was the tool knife you mentioned?
The tool knife?
They tool in quotations.
Oh, this is a Mercer.
No.
It's a good knife. Most restaurants will have them because they're kind of, I don't want to say like they're in the lead of the culinary world, but in terms of like chain restaurants like Applebee's, Chili's, all that shit, you go into that kitchen, you're gonna find a Mercer everywhere. I don't like that part. We're gonna get rid of that part.
What's your preference for sharpening?
For sharpening?
Yeah.
So over there. Right here. So my diamond whetstone. I sharpen my knives once every 2 weeks, or kind of just when I notice they're getting dull. I've had that since I was 16. I couldn't even tell you the brand of it anymore. I bought it from the local hunting place. I don't know if Runnings is a thing where you guys are at. It might have a logo on it.
It says Smith's.
There you go. Smith's Diamond Whetstone. Back in this one. Yep. Green's always just a little bit difficult. Color's a little bit weird. Upsy downsies, a little bit weird. I mean, you see the shape of the pepper. If you get kind of down up in here, you can follow it a little bit more visually. I don't know how well it would pertain on a camera, so we are not going to put it on camera.
I mean, I could try, but then I'd have to get sideways.
Yeah, then you'd have to get all up in my grill. And you're my wife and stuff, but I don't like it like that. But yeah, just trying to follow the shape of the pepper, which is why I try to keep it flat. You see over here, this finger is pinching it down, and it's still away from the business end. And then when I'm over here, I'm already past the bad part. So boom.
They're wondering why you take off so much meat off of the pepper.
Because right now I kind of suck at cooking. And I'm trying to make a show, and I'm talking and trying to explain things. At the restaurant I work at, when I have more downtime and less distractions, not that I don't love streaming for you guys, I get to take my time and be a little bit more precise. I am taking the rind off because it adds a chewy texture that I'm not a tremendous fan of. I think we're good. It's a little soft, which is what I was worried about. Yeah, no, see, okay. So this is something I want to check for. You see how these seeds are going black? It's a bad pepper. It's a bummer, because that's where my heat was going to come from, but I have some seasonings to back that up. So, no worries there.
I got you some small ones.
I
got you some small ones.
Those are the same. Those are the same thing, babe.
Same issue.
We are not dicing. That's a little bit too much effort right now. Julienning to the size that would fit in your mouth. I'm sure there is a sex joke there somewhere. I'm too much of an adult to make it. That is a lie. Today we're cooking for what, like maybe 15 people?
I don't know.
Remember, keep your hands away from the business end. But if anybody else has any other questions, that's why I'm doing things. And you know, this is a home cooked vibe. You know, it's not at the winery. It's not fine dining. You know, I'm feeding my family. I'm feeding some close friends. Live streaming, spending some quality time with my wife. Kind of surprised the cats haven't showed up yet. What you got, babe?
Saying that the cats are comfy in the slightly heated corner over there.
Yeah, so it got cold recently. So, the cats are in front of the heater. We're up north, so I mean, I want to say it's cold, but I grew up here my entire life. It's like 30 degrees out right now. That ain't cold. Not to me. Plus, we just got spoiled and spent 2 years in Texas. So. Where are you guys from? Where am I seeing people from? I've had people from Germany, from Thailand, and Indonesia up in my streams. Where's everybody from at right now? Anyone?
Not yet. No.
I don't have an active way of seeing chat with this setup because we're just streaming from my phone. I'm trying day by day to get another kind of kitchen setup figured out. Has camera angles. My wife doesn't have to run around so much. All that fun stuff. I still got some onions to do, so we're gonna put this at a nice medium. Chicken's looking good. Okay, we're only gonna use these 2 onions because I only want to use these 2 onions. Let's put a little sauce, but I think we're okay. Right. So we take the top off, cut through the root. Try to take as little as the top as you can, but it gives you a nice flat base to cut through the root. We're going to julienne these 2, but having something to grip and hold on to is just plain old safer. Take all the dry skin off. I've never met a person who enjoys the dry part of an onion. And I would be concerned if I ever did. We're not going to use the root part. Like I said, this is just something to kind of keep everything together while we peel off this dry skin. You can take off the top layer of skin too. Doesn't hurt nothing. A lot of people say you should take the top layer of skin off anyway because it's no bueno. A lot of people have a lot of opinions about things. Do what makes you feel happy. Like my cats, who are all just napping on a couch. Okay, we'll get these bad boys julied. So what we'll do is we'll take that root off of all of them. Cooking time is an important thing to remember. That's why we got the chicken going first. And then with these guys, onions and peppers kind of have the same cooking time. So we are just going to get a nice julie. Now see, we're here and we're still getting kind of close to the business end of things without having a good grip on this. So we just knock it over. And we do the same damn thing. Go fast when you can, go slow when it's important. The closer I get to my finger, the moment I start touching there, try to slow it all down. Otherwise you're gonna get a miscut. You're gonna lose a digit. Nobody likes lost digits. Now I set that pan to a medium heat. So by now, it should be pretty good to go. Oven's preheated for the garlic bread. This is a nice, uncontaminated work surface. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna hit a little vegetable oil. Same pan I used the chicken in, mind you, so it's gonna get a little bit of that seasoning everywhere. And we are just gonna Don't be afraid. Okay. It's a little bit different for me because I don't really have feelings in my hands anymore. I've been doing this for too long. I've burned myself and cut myself too many times. But we're just going to give that a nice mix. Certain things will start breaking apart. And then we will crank that up to a medium high. Carefully grab the butter. Water is still hot, but we are going to crank it. Now, don't add... Okay, if it's fresh pasta that you made at home, yes, add oil. If you did not make it at home, you do not need to worry about adding oil to it. Do not add salt until the water is already boiling. And I don't know who coined the phrase, make it taste like the sea. They're fucking wrong. All it does is make it taste salty. So that is hot, so I'm going to grab my dish towel. And the moment you add pasta noodles, I like penne noodles personally. I totally just said something about salt and I forgot to add salt, so we'll go right there.
Too much.
Hmm?
Too much.
It's not too much. Do you see how much fucking water this is?
A lot of salt.
Everyone's a critic. So we had to get a big kitchen. We're gonna cook it all. We're gonna send the leftovers to my dad's bar, and that'll go to all donations people want to spend there. Will go to the Kind Hearts Project, which is a local charity, and to cover food customers. We're gonna put a lid on this just until it starts a rolling boil again, and then we're gonna get concerned. Okay, we're not gonna get concerned, but that's when we're gonna take the lid off. We'll probably start a timer for maybe like 8 minutes. Store-bought pasta does not take as long as you think, unless you're doing it in bulk, which we are. Yep, it's on, cool. Grab this guy, which is a little toasty, but it was by a burner. That's getting moist. Grab our pregnancy packs. I'm just kidding, this is not breast milk. You can freeze heavy cream. It does look like breast milk. Makes sense when you don't think about it. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this to a simmer. Then we are going to add our seasonings. And then we are going to add our cheese. By that point, the pasta nudes, which still got time on, are going to be done. We add everything into one big thing, we portion it out for who ordered what, and call it a motherfucking day. Even though Mother Nature called it a day several hours ago. It gets dark so early. Now, it's not going to be a very heavy sauce. It's not going to be very thick because, there we go. Shit, dang it. Boom. Told you, we were going to worry for a second. It's not going to be, it's going to be a creamy sauce. It's not going to be very thick. A, we didn't have that much cream. B, I kind of didn't want to worry about it. So we have our garlic sriracha. Again, not sponsored by Weber's, but Weber, if you're listening. Feel free to send me some seasonings, dog. And then we do have Italian, and I grabbed onion powder, but I don't need onion powder. What we'll do next is we will take our sourdough, baked with love by my wife. A little toasty on some areas. Nobody likes the heel of the bread anyway. And we are going to keep an eye on everything for one thing. Need to grab my tool. And my sheet tray. And we're gonna throw this out. Always try to clean as you go. That's just gonna make your life easier, I promise. Probably need both of these actually. Line them up. They're not gonna be like full garlic cheese bread. Some of them are gonna be garlic croutons, I guess. I could probably fit these all in one. I think my favorite part about these streams is I never actually plan that far ahead. I just freak out for 45 minutes before I get started. Now, wish this was a little bit more melted, but oh well. This is why we take our rings off, kids. Feel free to use an actual mixing utensil for this. And all I have here is garlic and parsley. But we can get a good schmoopty going. But yeah, use a utensil if you want. I'm a hands-on individual.
I think you should spread it out more.
It's going to melt.
It's last time that you made that, it did not melt enough. Spread it out.
Trust your boy. I am probably going to grab a butter knife and do it anyway. Fun relationship advice. Just listen to your wife. She probably thinks she knows more than you anyway. That being said, if I never live stream again, I promise I didn't kill myself. Yeah. It's a solid room temp butter. Out of the way because we are going to need that mother-fearing strainer. I forget where my butter knives are because I don't go into that door often enough for butter knives, I guess. Just give it a good spread. Not going to do both sides. This butter is packed with flavor because I do a cold ferment on that too. Boom, in the oven under the chicken. Chicken's probably close to being done too. Ooh, looks good, smells good. Okay. Cream sauce is ready. I'm going to start with the garlic sriracha. And we're going to add some Italian for a little bit other color. Well, it's fine. There's going to be plenty of... God damn it. Fuck!
That's a lot of seasoning.
It'll be fine. Now we're going to start adding our cheeses. Which, like I said, mainly Parmesan, a little bit of mozzarella. Because we kind of just need to go through it. butter. Alrighty. We'll do a flavor test. Not a flavor test. A temp test. Make sure it's cooked all the way. If I'm going to be fully honest, it's a little overdone. It's fine. Ish. I'll be mad about it later. When I'm crying myself to sleep. Now, if you do it right, you don't have to add any water to your pasta because that's still going to soak that up. Plenty of moisture going on in the world. Excuse me. And now we are just going to start adding everything into it. You notice I didn't stir this all that much. I wanted the sugars to kind of add to it and break up a little bit of that heat. Alright. We'll grab this again. Hot things are hot, so be careful and shit. Low heat. Start stirring. Oh, panic, you haven't added the chicken yet. I know. I want to get a nice, I want the texture of the sauce to start coating everything before I add that in there. That way it doesn't just taste all like one big ol' mamma jamma. The heat is also going to break up those veggies just a little bit more. Oh, there's a big clump of onion. Oh. And now we will add the pollo. La pollo. Turn that off, let the residual heat toast up those garlic bread pieces that we figured out. That is not a good grip that I had on that. That burned a lot. Typically, you could save this fat. In fact, we are going to, because shit is expensive nowadays. And I'm just going to have the weirdest bacon grease. Not pouring it all in there. Just enough to make me feel a little bit safer about this. Yep. Now, when you oven roast chicken chunks like this, there's a tendency for them to stick together. Just grab a tool. Start breaking them up. Oh, that is sloshy goodness. It's like homemade mac and cheese. Oh, there's a really good pepper. Alright, well, I think past dishing up, that's all we're going to need, boys. Thanks for joining.
You did hang up.
Sorry, I tried to have some silent communication with my camera on. Thank you all very much for joining us. Godspeed. God bless. Don't panic. We'll be back. And tell your mom I said hi.